So yeah, I'm going to throw to a pre-recorded segment and we'll be back to talk about Google's insights into marketing in games very shortly, but this is Celeste. Hi, today is World Suicide Prevention Day, and as video games progress and mature as an art form, there gets an increasing amount of what you might call better representation of mental health in video games. And today what I wanted to do to mark the occasion really is share one of my favourites, my favourite games about depression and anxiety. This is Celeste, a fiendishly hard platformer available for all the major consoles. And it tackles some, what you might describe as pretty weighty themes. You play as a character called Madeline. She struggles a lot with depression and anxiety, and during the course of the game she actually finds that this alter ego, this negative side of herself, becomes real on this mountain that she's climbing, and is forced to kind of confront herself. And this section here that I'm letting play out is one of the dialogue sections from the game, and it's a little bit long, but I'm going to let it play out because I think it's really good representation of strong writing in games, especially around these themes. Madeline here is talking to a character called Theo, who you meet during your journey. This is actually the back half of the game, so apologies for spoilers. Madeline is starting to figure some things out about herself and starting to open up to other people, which, as we know, is really important. Celeste is an interesting game that I encourage you to play if you're interested in platforming at all. You can actually check out Maddie Thorson on Twitter, put together a pinned at time of recording, about all the little tips and tricks that the game employs to actually make the game more forgiving, because it's an incredibly difficult game. But they sum it up nicely when they said, Celeste is a game that wants you to succeed, even though it's hard. It gives you a significant challenge, but it really wants you to succeed. And the game is interested in making things easier for you in subtle ways, just to help you try and conquer some of the immense challenges that you face on the way up the mountain. The game is difficult. I have finished it. You're supposed to collect strawberries on the way, and the more strawberries you get, the better you are at the game. I did not get very many strawberries, so that's by no means a brag on my part. But the game's quite short. You can get through it pretty quickly. This is, I think, perhaps the longest conversation in the game. Most of the game isn't very conversation heavy, but I think it's fascinating how well drawn these characters are in terms of personality, through very little in the way of graphical fidelity. It's a pixel art game, obviously with some very nice drawings, without any particularly elaborate voice acting. You'll hear the kind of squeaks they do, which I think are well acted, but they obviously don't necessarily carry the same power that full voice acting would carry. Actually makes it harder to convey emotion, I think. Celeste is one of a few games that we included in an article last year, around this time actually, about mental health in video games, and if you're interested you can still find that article on our website. I will try and make sure that if you're watching this on archive on YouTube, that the details are in the description. If you're watching it on Twitch live, then I'll put it in the chat. As somebody who's had their own journey with mental health and been relatively public about that in the past and present, I really identify with a lot of the themes and the dialogue that Madeline goes through in this game. We've all been there. It's true, it does. When we get through this conversation, I will show off a little bit of the core gameplay as well, so you can see some of the platforming in action. Theo is always insistent on taking selfies, and this is the first time that Madeline is the one to suggest it. Okay, here's some gameplay, and actually this bit's fairly easy. The feathers are a recurring motif, and in this level they allow you to fly for a short period of time. You kind of puzzle solve with them to reach areas you'd never be able to reach usually. You have a kind of wall climb, and you kind of stick to walls a little bit when you hit them, as well as a little dash that you saw I just did there. And the bubbles you actually have to dash into. Yeah, if you don't dash into them, you just bounce right off. I say this is easy. I mean, I'm not making it look easy. The game has a lot harder portions than this. Come on. Nothing that way. There we go. So yeah, like I say, Maddie's got loads of great tips, game dev tips essentially, on how to make games like this feel good. Just subtle ways that the game allows you to, jump a little bit early, or to recover from a fall. This is Madeline's dark side manifested. Yeah, they sometimes talk to each other. Uh-oh. So this is interesting. It's basically a mechanic that encourages meditative breathing in the game. Madeline imagines a feather and tries to breathe as if she's lifting the feather up and exhale as if she's letting the feather drop. It's a mechanic that comes up multiple times in the game, and unfortunately on this occasion the negative part of Madeline is too strong. That's not what you want when you're trying to climb a mountain. You kind of see here how you sometimes are encouraged to explore. Oh, and actually this is a bit of light puzzle solving here. These blocks move in the direction that you hit them from if you hit them at speed. Yeah. Even when you figure out what you need to do, it's actually pulling it off is sometimes a little bit tricky. There we go. You can see what happens when you die there. It's a pretty quick respawn, which is required because you die a lot. Yep. Like I say, challenging game. Oh, that was close. Hey. Well, I don't want to spoil too much of the game and the solutions to some of these areas. You can see how challenging it's getting. So we'll wrap up there. This is Celeste. Like I say, it's available for all major consoles. This footage is the PlayStation 4 version, which is a very fine way to play it. You can get it on most platforms. Check it out. I think it's a fantastic game and well worth your time if you like platformers, especially difficult ones. Okay, I'll see you again.